Hi guys, Mickey here, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. So this video today is a response to one of my viewers who asked the question, what's a spatchcock chicken? Okay, spatchcock chicken is a method used for centuries for cooking things like chicken, duck and any sort of form of fowl. It's a fast and a sufficient way of cooking them over an open fire, or you can do it in an oven, but it ensures an even cook of your game. Okay, so it makes for an easier, safe way of cooking rather than ending up risking raw meat in the centre. You can do it that way. Anyhow, so that's what the video is going to be today, and to make it a bit more interesting, I'm going to do a bit of firelighting, and because I'm at home and I'm cooking at home and we're actually doing this for our tea tonight, I'll do it in the fire pit as a simulation of what you do outside. So I'm going to use this, or light this using basic techniques. Prep it, get the heat going, reduce it to some nice coals, and then I'll get my chicken in. I'll show you how I prepare my chicken, and it's very simple. Don't add anything to it. You know, I literally will show you how to spatchcock a chicken, and then from there you can add whatever sauces, flavours, spices, butters, whatever you wish to it prior to cooking it. Okay, so two things to remember with this. One is you don't want a super hot fire. Okay, you want to be cooking over coals ideally, so you want to reduce your fire down, hence I'm lighting the fire now and then going to let it drop back in its size, and you want a fairly even cook. So again, you want your fire to be fairly even throughout your fire pit or your fire in your camp. Guys, please like, subscribe, share these videos. It gives me encouragement to keep going, and enjoy. So this is Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival, spatchcock chicken, just for you, Derek. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to split down some pieces of wood to make up some kindling to form the basis of my fire. Knife of choice for doing that today, I'm going to use a knife I actually made myself. Okay, so what we're going to do, yeah, do the job nicely. So this knife I made about 3 or 4 years ago. Steel is 15N20. It's a very thick blade, and it has quite an aggressive grind on it. Okay, it's a short knife because quite often I don't need a huge length of blade. Okay, so I decided to make myself quite a dumpy, stocky and sturdy knife, and that aggressive grind on there, on the thickness of the blade, is what's splitting the wood. Okay, the edge is finding its way in the fibres. That nice thick blade is what's splitting out for me. As you can see, it's doing quite a nice job. All right. So it's a nice coil of birch bark. Okay, break that down a little bit. Oh. And get my fire kit, which was right next to me. Take my fire kit. Now, silver birch you can ignite straight from a ferro rod. Okay, it's not a problem at all. You can do that, but today I'm going to go with a chemical fire. Purely and simply because it's one I don't do particularly often. So for an ideal chemical fire, I will set a nice bit of silver birch back there as a base. Put some silver birch bark strips there. Take my potassium permanganate, seal that up, put that away there. Nice dollop of that in there. birch on it. Do that. That's going to take quite nicely. So, whilst that's doing its thing, come to our chicken. You see I've got a nice clean surface underneath this, that there, to prepare my chicken on. So, it's an average sized chicken, well, it's a small chicken to be honest with you, it's a savour chicken. So what you want to do is turn the chicken upside down, so the breast side is down, okay? Make him comfortable, speak to him gently, take a set of shears, or a knife if need be, and you want to go up the side of the spine, okay, simple as. Now I find the easiest way is to go each side up as far as you can, turn him round, open the neck, and he's got the neck in this one, which is quite nice, and go back the other way. You want to cut as close to the spine as possible, you don't want to waste any meat. So what we've done there is we've taken the spine out. Now that, don't waste that, okay? You use that to bait traps for foxes and so on, or you put that into your stock pot and you use that to produce a stock with. Now whilst you're here, have a look inside. If there's any offal in there that you want to remove it. This is a nice clean bird, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. Turn him over and snap this bone here, okay? Once you snap that bone there, as you can see, your chicken will lay flat, okay? Skin becomes a bit baggy on the top, that's not an issue, and that's your chicken spatchcocked, okay? So what you're going to do to start off with, you're going to cook this side down, okay, and then you'll roll him over and you'll cook that side down. So you basically you're halving the thickness of your bird, you're allowing the heat to transfer through it. All times when you're working with any sort of meats outside, obviously keep your hands clean, keep fresh. So anyway, we're going to let this fire burn down a little bit further and we'll get our chicken on. And as you can see, the chicken underneath the area I had downside is cooked quite nicely, or it's starting to cook quite nicely. Obviously it's going to take a little bit more time, but I can roll it over. Now we're starting to get a bit of a problem with the weather here, so to ensure my chicken is cooked and cooked properly, I'm just going to improvise a reflector oven, and that is quite simple. All it is, you could use a saucepan, you could use anything basically. I've even used in the past things like biscuit tins. I've even used a fuel can, obviously cleaning it out and that. And again, what this is a reflector oven. So what this does, the heat comes up underneath, radiates round on the inside, it's trapped before it can escape, cold air sinks, hot air rises, and so we've improvised an oven. Now, in a perfect world, I'd have sat the chicken on a tray within the oven, okay, so that it was away from the direct heat. But again, it's not a particularly big chicken, so we'll keep an eye on him, see how he's cooking, and if I have to, I'll lift him off, put him on a tray, put the reflector oven back over him, and slow the cooking down a little bit that way. And bonus with this, if I want to have a look, see how he's doing, I can just have a peek on the inside, have a look, see how he's doing, and that is sizzling along lovely in there. And again, of course, the thing we're concerned with, and the thing we've got to make sure is that this is cooked and cooked well. Okay, you're doing any form of game, you're doing any form of meats out in the wild, whether it's survival, whether it's barbecuing and that, slow yourselves down, cook it a bit longer. Okay, okay, make sure that is cooked and it's cooked well. The last thing you want is what we call in the UK deli belly. And it's not a slur against Indian cooking, that actually goes back to the days of the Raj. British troops in India were poorly fed. Meat preparation and meat care wasn't really understood or known, and so the troops tended to go down with very, very poor stomachs and upset stomachs. Hence they developed a taste for curry, which is how the locals produced their food or did their meats and that, which was stew it long time, lots of spices, cooked it properly. Okay, as opposed to the British guys that originally were going out and throwing a bit of meat over a fire. When it looks done, it's done. And it wasn't. And again, with all these things, you have to keep an eye on it. Do I want to burn it? No, not really. Let's give it a rotate. The wind and the rain's getting up lovely. And you can see how well the reflector ovens worked there by how well that browned, how quickly it browned. Again, you're trapping all that heat, and it's not a huge amount of heat coming off that now. My fire has dropped down quite nicely to embers. The flames aren't licking up against the chicken, so it's cooking quite nicely. So again, our little reflector oven, as you can see, heat's rising from here. We've got some good heat there. Circulates around inside there, cooks the chicken all round. I've got clear juices dropping down onto the coals. I'm going to take it off in a minute and I'm going to have a look at it. Now, when you're preparing your chicken, you don't need a pair of meat shears, you don't need a pair of good quality scissors. Go to your first aid kit if you have to, and you've probably got a pair of medical shears in there. They will do the job very well. In actual fact, the first pair of meat shears I ever had for doing this sort of thing was a pair of medical shears. Obviously don't then use them on a casualty, it's not so good. The other thing to be aware of, and I am aware of it and I have done it, is clean your tongs. Okay, when you first start handling this, it's going to be raw meats. You're not putting your tongs in the fire, are you? Not sterilising those. Okay, so before your meat's done, go and wash your tongs off before you handle your chicken, and that way you're not cross-contaminating. Okay, it's a very, very common barbecue mistake. What I'll do in a minute is I'll whip this off of here, I'll put it on a chopping board, I'll open it up on the thickest pieces of the meat, and I'll make sure it's cooked through. If it's not cooked through, it goes back on. Simple as. Simple as. If it was a survival situation, this chicken I'd have broken it down into 4 quarters and it'd have gone in a stew pot. But this is just another alternative method you can use for grilling. It's a great method. It works with rabbit, it works with squirrel, it works with most meats. Okay, spatchcock it out, spread it out, cook it as thin as you can. Right, lovely. Let's have a look, see how she's doing. see any pink anyway. Chicken's starting to fall apart, which in actual fact is a good sign. And so, that's our tea tonight. Spatchcock chicken, baked spuds with a bit of cheese and ham. Yeah, simple dish, easy to do. Yeah, don't mess about guys, have fun, enjoy yourselves. Please like, subscribe and share. This is Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. That was Spatchcock chicken for Derek. Have a good one. Mickey out.